and in this tutorial we'll be making the player die and the game over screen. So press the green flag and you can use space to jump, and it was jumping a little too high, so I set the Y to 20. So type 20 in the if key space press block. Okay, now go to spikes. It wasn't deleting because this was at -280, so go ahead and set it to -240. There we go, and now it'll be deleting. Okay, now let's go to player. Now go to costumes, and we want to make another costume. We want to make him slightly gray. Okay. Now go back to code. When the green flag is clicked, we want it to be switching to color to costume 1. Okay, now go to control, drag out an if block and place it over everything. Now go to variables, and we're going to be making a variable called alive, and we want it for all sprites. And when the green flag is clicked, we want to set it to yes. Okay, now we want, if the alive is equal to yes, then we want it to do everything in this block. Okay, and we want if alive is equal to no, so go to control and drag out an if block. Now let's put it if alive is equal to no, then we want it to switch to costume 2. Okay, so we want this alive variable to actually equal something, to actually mean something. So click spikes, we want it, so go to control, drag it to if, and put it inside the repeat until X position is less than -240. Now we want if sensing touching player, then we want to set alive to no and stop other scripts in Sprite. Okay, there we go, that should work. Boom, there he goes. But the spikes are still spawning, so we want it to be if alive is equal to true. So go to operators, drag out an equals block, drag out a variables block, and go to alive and yes. Okay, there we go, now that should work. Boom, there he goes. They're still moving, that doesn't matter though. So when I start as a clone, then we want to put the if touching player in its own block. So drag that out, put it in its own block with forever. There we go. There we go. Okay. And we want it to also stop this script. Okay? And we want the player to fall off the screen. So go to variables. We want to set the Y to pick random 1 to 10, and let's try that out. Yep. Alive equals no, set Y to 1 to 10. Let's put this in its own block so that it can stop other scripts. So go to events, green flag clicked, go drag out a forever block, and we want it to stop other scripts in Sprite. Okay. Boom. We want it to set the real Y to 1 to 10, not this. So set Y to Y position plus pick random 1 to 10. Okay? Let's remove this. Okay, now let's try this. There we go. And we want it to set Y to Y position plus 1, pick random 1 to 10. And we want it to change Y by -5. So let's just put this 15. We want it to change Y by -5. And we want it to repeat until it's touching the edge. Okay, and we want it to go right here. And let's drag the switch costume to 2 there. Okay, let's test that out. Boom. And he's bouncing there for some reason. So we want it to stop this script after he touches the edge. Okay? Let's drag this into the stop. Okay? Now let's test that out. Boom. There it goes. And we want it to hide, and we want it to turn also. Okay. Boom. Yep. And let's click it again, and as you can see, it starts pointing in the wrong direction. So let's make it point in direction 90. Let's do this. Okay. Jump over the spikes. And boom. Yep. Okay. Now we want it to wait 1 second, and then it'll stop all after this. So go here, remove this, wait 1 second, and stop all. Okay? 3 seconds. How about that? Boom. Okay? We want to actually wait 1 second. Okay. Let's test that out. Yep. Okay. And let's make it when the space is pressed, we want it to repeat 10, turn 10 degrees. Okay? Point in 90. And we want to wait until not key space pressed so that you can't hold it down and keep on jumping. Okay? We want it to make it its own block. Okay? Okay. So drag that out and go to events, and green flag clicked, and forever. If key space pressed, oops, okay, let's test that out. Never mind, let's just delete this. But put the wait until not key space pressed below the key space pressed so that you can't keep on jumping. Put it in front. Okay. You have to put it outside here, I forgot. Never mind, let's just delete that also. Okay. There we go. Okay. And it's not jumping. I probably deleted that variable. Nope. Okay. And we want it to set alive to yes. Okay. And there we go. It's fixed. Nope. Okay, there we go. I fixed it. That was because I dragged it outside of it. And now we want to make a game over screen. So go to paint a sprite and let's name it game over. And we want it to say game over. Your score was okay. Let's put this here. Make it a lot bigger. And make it white. Let's put this to the back. And green flag clicked. Forever. Go to looks and drag out hide. And if alive is equal to no, then we want to show. Now let's make a variable. Oh, I forgot to set the x to 0 and y to 0. It's also a little stretched in here. So there we go. And let's test that out. Okay. Now we want it to make a score. So make a variable and let's call this score. And when we first start, we want to set the score to 0. And we want it to change score by 1. Okay? And we want the score to go here. Okay? Now let's change this to large readout. Okay? There we go. Perfect. In the next tutorial, we'll be making a fighter jet game.